Today we got Leanor from Five Iron Frenzy. The second time you've been on this podcast. At this point, you're just a good friend. We were on the podcast last year, maybe or somewhere around this time last year, and then you were like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be at Furnace Fest, and you're just gonna like." And I still remember. I don't think it was in the recording. I think it was after we got done recording. You said, "Cullen and Mason, you're gonna be at Furnace Fest. I'm gonna be at Furnace Fest. You guys owe me an ice cream date."
I
And
did say that.
so you texted me while we were at Furnace Fest. We went out and got some ice cream at the festival.
hmm
And it was a grand old time. We met some of your friends. You met some of our friends. It was so much fun. We may have had a little alcohol at some point, and it was a delightful time. And so,
Always fun.
we just became really good friends at that point. And here you are now, not just being a guest at Furnace Fest, but this year you're going to be playing at Furnace Fest. So obviously, we're going to get into all of those
Yeah.
kind of details and everything.
Woo! Yeah,
But before we get into all of that, how you doing today?
I'm awesome. I'm doing really good. I'm working on all the details. This weekend on Saturday, we are playing a Denver Ska Festival with headliners Goldfinger, then Less Than Jake, then us.
Hell
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
And then also other bands are going to be there too. It's an all-day festival. It's going to be really fun. Planet Smashers from Canada are going to be there. So it's a lot of ska. It's a lot of quick turnaround, like not playing a long set, but it's going to be very, very fun. And we're working on old school songs.
So much skanking.
I know. Or they, skank moshing, I guess. And then people our age head bobbing,
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But
keeping it cool.
it's your job to make sure they're not just head bobbing.
I'm ready. I am so ready.
Yeah.
Guys, I bought a new shaper today.
What does that mean?
What is a shaper?
You're not a woman, are you? So it just holds everything tightly in. You've heard of these things?
Well, you don't need that.
I don't need it, but on stage it's good because if you put your hands in the air, you don't want your t-shirt.
Oh, I get
No,
you. I get
That's
you.
part of it. That's part of you want to be like all.
You're all
Take
about
stage.
modesty, is what
You
you're
just like
saying.
ruined like the
Very much.
fantasy of like every 40-year-old ska fan right there. Because that was like that's the opposite of what they want to see when you lift your arms up.
No,
Yeah.
it's all modesty and it's all about, at my age, it's also about like, you want to look slim and good and happy and you are, but it just adds that extra layer of confidence. I guess that's
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's
Okay.
the female confidence.
Sure.
What do you guys have? What's the equivalent of that?
The Cullen used to
Underwear.
wear those
Underwear.
what
Oh
are they
yeah.
called? Wife beaters?
Oh yeah. That's kind of
Used
cool.
to.
He's wearing that. He's wearing a Nike
Yeah.
spouse
I just
Cut
got
off.
I just got
provoker.
done coaching all day, and literally just got back, and so I am. It's 100 degrees here today, and
Mhm.
I'm toasty, and I'm
I
still
think
warm.
you look warm, and I think that the new terminology is a spouse provoker, please.
I think it's just called a tank top, personally.
I mean,
Boring.
you can cancel me. That's fine.
I would never. You could cancel me.
Well, I wish I was in Denver this week, and that'd be so
I
much fun to
know
go
it's
hang
going to
out
be
with y'all.
so fun. It's going to be very, very fun and very rad. And I just think it's crazy that honestly, like thinking about this, playing with Goldfinger, playing with Less Than Jake, us, we have more band members now are heading closer to 50s with both those other bands and us. Like it's insane the age now of people that are playing ska music.
So
So
you know how like a lot of like tradesmen and stuff like that will say we've got more than 150 years of experience
Yeah.
on our staff. What is
Yes.
the years of experience on Five Iron Frenzy?
I bet you I could ask a fan on Saturday and they'll figure it out.
And
Really
they'll know it.
fast.
They'll
And
just
they'll,
know it
and
on the
they'll,
top of their head.
and they'll know it in binary because they will have been homeschooled and happy
Yeah.
to share that
Yeah.
information.
Yeah. Nerds.
they know
That's
it in
fine by
Roman
me, dude.
numerals.
Wait, I'm happy to keep doing this. Like it's super fun. It's still exciting. We have a lot more shows coming up, which I'll tell you about later. But yeah, it just feels good to still have, I guess the word is chops. You still have your chops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So last year, around this time we interviewed Bruce from Living Sacrifice, and I bet
Mm.
Bruce is at this point in his mid-50s. I'm guessing. I mean,
He's older
they've been
than me.
around the
Sure.
block since
Sure.
the mid to late '80s, right?
Mhm.
So they've
Yeah.
been around for a while. And I was thinking to myself, there's a good chance, not to say that I don't know Bruce well enough, but there's a good chance he could be potentially a grandfather at this point. And like you guys are not that like
Mm.
give it another like 10 to 15 years,
Mhm.
you might be starting to, at least, even if you're not grandparents, you could at least be in that age range where you could have grandchildren. Like, it's not
Well,
that far off.
well, the first phase, though, of all this is empty nesters. So our trombone player, Dennis, and his wife sent a son to college. And in fact, we're about to play in Nashville, where his son goes to Baylor University, and he's studying music production. And so, yeah, we have
This
five
is
iron
literally a Baylor,
The Baylor
tank top
Bear.
I'm wearing.
very cool.
What are the chances? That's where my brother goes to school.
Oh, good school.
Maybe they can become friends.
Maybe. He's amazing on the guitar. And so also my son just graduated this year. I have an 18-year-old. It's crazy.
Holy cow.
Crazy.
Good grief. Isn't it weird to think that, like, you've been a band and you continue to do this, and you've birthed a child and now sent that child off to college? That is how long you've been a band.
I know. It's true. And it's really fun. It's really cool. Like, now it's easy because I said to the festival, I said, can our kids be backstage? And I was like, they're teenagers and they've grown up in this world and they need all access, like,
Yeah.
they're not babies. And it's like, yeah. So it's pretty much like a bunch of teenagers eating our food that's supposed to be on our rider for us. So we have to add, it's like Coke. We would never get Coca-Cola. It's like, fine, add, how much hummus do we need? How many chips? Why do I have to feed all these kids backstage?
That's how you know you're a Colorado-based band, when
Hummus,
is the main course
RX
on your
bars,
rider.
Organic apples, local beer, which, what could it be here?
In Alabama?
Actually, you guys, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Do you ever enjoy the non-alcoholic beers just for fun?
Like O'Doul's?
Yeah, but now they have, we're taking a little break here and there, sadly, but it happens here and there, just a reset. Non-alcoholic Corona is delish. Very
Really?
good. You have to be high maintenance like me. You cannot just drink it out of the thing. You have to line it with salt and a little tahine and then a fresh lime, but the beer itself with all that.
Yeah.
So good.
NAs are really taking off right now. Like, almost every single brewery has at least one NA on tap.
Yeah.
That's their own,
And you're even seeing really good NA, like, liquors to, like, mix,
There
seltzers
can
or
be, but
whatever
I've
they're-
tried 2 wines and they were undrinkable. The 2 wines I tried were like
Interesting.
fermented grape juice. It was, that would be wine.
That would be wine. So
It's just
are you
grape
literally?
juice.
It's literally just grape juice. Yeah.
You're just-
It's.
Yes,
I
I mean,
think
You're going to a
Jesus.
Methodist church.
I was gonna
basically what
say
you're doing.
they probably get it from a Catholic priest somewhere,
I know.
because that wine is terrible.
But it's a waste of your money. I had about 50 people suggest on my Facebook. I asked, what are the non-alcoholic wines I should try? And so many people said them, and I got 2 of the higher end. I shouldn't waste my money that way. Like, if you're getting wine, real wine, $15 is my sweet spot, right? 12 to $15. And we're not talking twist off. I don't do that crap. But I think that spending more than that is just a waste. And if it's not alcohol, I'm really sad now.
Yeah, that's true.
My
Mason looks
little, like,
concerned about me. Mason, you look concerned
Dude,
about
Well,
me.
Mason
no,
only
no,
drinks
my-
box wine.
so my
love
I do
box
love box
wine.
wine, but my sort of NA version, if I want to, like, have like a nice drink at night but not do a alcohol version, is so in Minnesota, edibles now are, like, THC edibles are
Sure.
are available.
Yeah.
But I found these little tablets, these dissolvable tablets that you can put in any, like a seltzer water, whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
And they're tasteless and they're odorless. So you can just, throw them in, and they're
Those
like
are called
really,
roofies.
really, like,
Those are called roofies, and you are not supposed to be
well,
enjoying
these are
They make you
these are
sleep,
legal
right,
ones.
Mason?
These are ones
They
you can
make
just
you
buy at the
sleep.
store down the block. And anyway, you just, like, throw them in, and then you just get this nice little, like, THC buzz, and it's so nice and enjoyable. And that's my go-to right now for if I want to, like,
Yeah, but I
do
have, like,
something
this
NA,
real
but I
job
still
in-
want to, like, have a little bit of the edge taken off. It's great.
My concern is that someday, though, so I don't partake in the THC because I work for the Department of Corrections, and I don't know,
Yeah.
should they ever test me, it could suck. So I just
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
true.
No, I get that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And also it's kind of fun to, like, it sucks, but sometimes I have to have this, like, air of, you don't want to lie to your kids, but you also want to uphold this standard. So it's like, if I'm going to be like, yeah, I play around with this stuff, it's like, then you too. Because as soon as I get all these tattoos, my kids are like, when am I getting them? And I'm like, if I talk about doing weed, then they're like, when are we going to get high together, Mom? It just,
Isn't that-
But
Isn't
you
that
will
what
get to a point where you're going to be like, hey child, when can we get high together? Like
Maybe.
my dad has not asked me that specific question, but my dad
Mhm.
is at that point now where it's like, let's break out the whiskey. And it's like,
Sure.
I
Sure.
like think back to when I was 16 and I couldn't imagine my dad, and Cullen knew
Mhm.
my dad when I was 16. There's no way I could have ever imagined my dad being like the guy that's like, let's break out the whiskey.
Yeah.
And now he's that guy. I
I
mean,
made a
we went to a football game with him and he snuck in alcohol to this
yeah.
football
Go
game.
Dad.
Yeah.
I know, and
And
I'm like, who is this? I don't even know this human anymore.
and this Christian conservative dad just took up smoking tobacco.
Yeah, he's
Ooh.
smoking.
And
Is he smoking like Gandalf though in a pipe to be
Well,
like
Yes,
esoterical?
Cullen
and
made him a pipe.
philosophical?
I made him a pipe, and
Good for you.
he's smoking out of it. It's
So
great.
give it like 10 more years, or even maybe less than that, and your kids are gonna be like, my mom's a cool mom. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
They
They
better
should already be saying
come
that.
on no matter what I do.
No, I'm
I
fairly
would hope.
convinced they
I would
will.
hope. I don't know what they think is cool.
My
but
mom is a lifelong HR person. My mom has never been in a ska band. Like, there's no way.
Right.
If I even think my mom is cool, there's absolutely no way one of your children won't think you're cool, at least in like 10 years.
Well, it depends because so Brad's kids. Brad is our trumpet player. His kids actually like wear our merch. They make cute claymation videos for us. Like they think it's cool. Our kids tolerate it. My kids tolerate it, but they don't brag about it.
I would.
I don't know if I would. It's hard to know. Like with your parents, if you think it's cool, because it's when I think of my dad, he's just silly and dorky and weird, and I can't imagine him being cool. I don't know. You know what I mean? Cool? No.
Your dad's dorky?
Guys, picture Cheech. Have you heard Cheech?
Oh yeah.
That's how my dad talks.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's Mexican American, and I have a video of him. He had big mustache and glasses. The first date I went on, I was 15, and my mom was at a church retreat, and so my dad had the neighbors come over to help send me off when the parents came with their 15-year-old son to take me on a date. And as the car's driving away, you don't see my dad, but you hear on the video recording, "I need a beer." That's my dad, dude. First time he met my husband, well, who would become my husband, he handed him a tamale and a shot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How old were you and your husband when you guys met?
When we met, well, scandalous. He was 19 and I was 24 when we met, but when we got married, I was 27 and he was 23.
Wow.
That was like my parents, basically. My mom is older than my dad.
Yeah. He asked me out when he was 20, and I said yes when he turned 21.
Have you told your kids this? So I remember when I was like maybe 8 or 9, and I like learned something about that women like the life expectancy of U.S. women was like 5 years older than men.
Yeah.
And so I asked my dad about that. No, actually, let me back up. I noticed, like at least growing up in church, that like most of the married couples I knew, the man was older than the woman. Right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Like usually within a few years, but like usually was like older than the woman, right? And so I asked my dad that of like why are typically men older than women when they're married, but you guys are like mom is older by 6 years.
Oh yeah.
And so I asked that question. I was 8 or 9. And my dad like explains, it's just like we fell in love, blah 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 blah. But then he was like, but here's the plus side of it, Mason. So I don't know if you've seen Mason, but women typically live 5 years longer than men. And so that means that because your mom is 5 to 6 years older than me, that means that when I die, your mom is probably going to die right then too.
Wonderful
And so
news.
not only did I have to like contemplate the fact at 8 years old that my parents were going to die, but that they were going to die at the same time, basically, on average.
That is, why tell him? Why tell?
So now you can tell your kids that, like, hey, by the way, dad and mom are going to die at the same time.
Well, the awkward thing about me was I was friends with him for a long time. So I was dating another guy, and then I was single for a year, and then I started dating Steven. And so in that time, I was friends with him, and I even got to know his dad. And his dad would use me as an example. His dad would say, "See, your friend, she's in college and a band." Because my husband was always touring and trying out bands and never really wanted, like, he only did one semester, maybe. Yeah, he didn't finish the first year of school, and his dad would always like shake his head and be like, "Wow, help him." And I'm like,
so you were seen as like the really mature one.
Well, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I just am, dude. I just
and still are the more mature one.
It's hard to know what maturity is. I don't know. I'm good with money. I'm really good with money.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
hmm I'm a
That's a big
planner.
part of
I'm
it.
a thinker. I'm a researcher.
Mhm.
I don't know
There
what
you go.
mature is because I don't have the ability. I don't know if I don't feel like you guys are the same. I don't have the ability to get embarrassed. You know that about me. I don't really have I mean I really don't. Like I don't have this shame or this weird feeling of like what would I say? It could be awkward. And the new joke
Yeah.
these days is it's really cute. Like all the movies these days about romance are, oh, I'm so awkward. I'm so awkward. I don't know what that feels like. And so I think I think we equate maturity with confidence, and that
Mm.
isn't necessarily true.
So no more shaper for you then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you have nothing to be embarrassed about
Back
when you
Exactly.
raise
Back
your
off.
saxophone high enough.
Back off. No,
You don't need it.
I've been known to
You
flash
backed
youth
yourself
group
in a hole
leaders.
on that
I
one.
flashed an entire youth group leader convention
Wait, what?
because I didn't know. So I was wearing actually a skirt, and I
Oh
didn't know the
no.
stage would be so high.
Oh no.
I know. It can happen.
It happens, I suppose, every
It
once in a while. Hopefully
Yeah.
not too often.
Well, that's when you learn these kind of things.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But not because you're embarrassed. It's just because like somebody is like, hey, by the way, like let's not do that again.
Yeah, pretty much. Someone was like, the color was white, and I'm like, great.
Oh man.
Subject change.
Yeah. You were just trying to put the saxy in saxophone. So.
No, I'm not. Speaking of saxophone, let
Yeah.
me ask you this. Looking at the Furnace Fest lineup, are we
Okay.
really the only ska band? I think we're definitely the only ska band, right?
Yeah.
What about the only band with horns? There's another band that I think has horns, right? Or a couple of them?
I'd have to
No?
look at the lineup again. I mean, certainly there are bands that maybe have like a song or two that have a
Mhm.
horn in it, but
Yeah.
a
Right.
band
But it
that
wouldn't
would have a
be.
touring person that plays horns,
Mhm.
I don't think so.
If it was last year, you would not have been the only ones.
You might be the horniest band.
Last year, we might be this year. Last year was fun because I got to be on stage for Insiders, and they're my
Right.
friends.
Yeah.
And then what is that other band? Okay, don't say the name. It's the band that does second seasons. I love that. Goaty Hook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they play or was it
Yeah, Cody
Valiant?
Hook played.
Yeah. They
Goaty Hook played. Yeah, and I got to say hi to all those guys. And it was
Yeah.
funny because I did that thing. I do that once in a while where you stare at them and you go, "Oh, it is you." Like you have to like look past the age and the wrinkles, and then
Look
eventually,
past the years.
yeah, like it's. I don't mean to right away, but I have to look at certain people and be like, "Oh yeah, how have you been?" It's terrible.
And suddenly from the ether, Steely Dan.
Well, and it's this.
playing.
It's the
Are you
guy, the
leaving
blonde
in
guy, and
years?
the guy in Goaty Hook. He's very tall, and I think he's blonde.
Okay.
You know that guy?
Hmm.
What does he play?
I don't remember.
I don't either. But I looked at him for a minute, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you probably have like 5 kids," and I think I was right.
Wow, 5. That's a lot.
Something like that. One of those guys.
Hmm.
So, Leanor, a question that I've wondered,
Yes.
partly because like every now and then I'll like bring up like, hey, like I know Leanor from 5-Iron, and you know for some reason that impresses people, I guess. And so anyway, whenever that comes up, one of the like thoughts that I have around like you being in a band for all these years now is especially because you've been in a band as like the only woman in the band, right? And I'm really curious, like when I first met you, I realized like immediately like, oh, this is like, and I don't know if you're like in the Enneagram world, but like you clearly to me like are like Enneagram 8 kind of energy kind of person.
Yes,
Like
I
very
am.
strong, like strong personality, like
Yes.
don't take shit for anything, kind of like, you know, you don't take shit from anyone kind of thing. And so like one of the things that like has become clear to me is like you could easily go like be in a band of like a bunch of like men and clearly like still like kind of have your way in it. And also, I'm like curious about like how you have felt like the rest of 5-Iron over all these years has sort of been in this like I would imagine there's been moments where it sort of feels like we sort of need to like protect her from like all the nonsense of like masculinity and bullshit that men bring into that scene.
Yeah.
But also knowing like they've had to they have to probably balance that, knowing that like you are going to be like, you're going to be like the dog right at the beginning of the fight, ready to like, beat somebody up. So I'm like curious about just like how you've navigated that dynamic, knowing your own personality and also knowing like that there might be some level of like impulse from the guys in 5-iron to maybe want to try to protect or like make sure that you're okay or whatever, right? So I'm curious like what that dynamic has been, over the course of these 5-iron years.
Well, in the beginning, there weren't as many conversations about. I mean, I was a tomboy. I was a little tomboy, and I wasn't very girly, I guess. I had like, I never wore makeup, and I had extra large T-shirts. Everybody did, like Vision Streetwear shirts, and I had a couple nose rings, and I looked pretty punk rock and kind of intense anyway. So I think they saw me as one of the guys, but there definitely was this big brother kind of vibe. And Andy, our drummer, he's Italian. And I don't always go for stereotypes, but I will say he would throw down if anyone looks at me wrong. Like I've had people at merch tables be mean to me, and he looks at me and he goes, "Get on the bus." And he tells me to go on the bus, and then he screams in the person's face. Or if another band member in a band is like giving me too much attention, like that, he'll be like right there, and I won't even notice. I'll be like kind of flirting too, and turn around and be like, "Oh, Andy's there. Like, you should leave now." Like, he's very protective of me, like a big brother, which is rad. Definitely I can hold my own, but I've learned in the band, Enneagram speaking, they don't want me to be an 8. They want me to be a 7. It took years, and my husband helped me figure that out. He's like, "You always take on things. You're always booking, or you're booking the openers, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. And you keep getting told by the band not to do it. Don't do too much. Don't overthink it." And because it's almost motherly, right? Like an 8 woman in a group becomes the mother hen. And I'm really struggling right now to not text them and be like, "Okay, guys, for Saturday, it's going to be really warm. So wear something like shorts and T-shirts, but then pack something cool for the stage." I want to tell them that because I think it's true. We should look cool on stage, and I don't think they're going to be wanting to wear their sweaty, hot jeans the whole time. But then there's that. Don't be an 8, be a 7. Just be cool, be fun, be happy. Just
go
be
with
the fan girl. Just be like the one that the fans talk to, and don't try to plan everything. And it's been hard for me to find that role because I'm really freaking good at the other role. I would love for them to boss me around. So lately, this whole year, I get to pick the openers. They're letting me do it. I get to do my gift right now. I'm making all the videos, the promo videos. I'm in charge of the posters. I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm burning out. But I'm also really happy that they're trusting me to do it.
That's fun. That's fun. Is that like been a fun creative outlet for you too?
It is. The only hard part, I think, is also taking on like who's going to book the flights, who's going to book the hotels. See, we don't have a manager because we have 8 band members. You can't really afford to pay another person. Plus, every time we hire someone, we're like, "No offense, but we know how to do it more than you do. We're usually twice as old as you." And so we become like kind of control freaks and not good at being managed. We had one manager, which was Mike Almquist. You guys know him.
Yeah, we know Mike.
Yeah. And we felt bad letting him go because we're like, "We're failing you as a person. We will not be managed." And so we had to fire him out of our love for him. Like, serious, we loved him.
Wait, was that before he was at With Me Without You, or was that
same time, like a more recent? So when Engines came out, we hired him. He helped us with all that artwork.
Gotcha.
He helped us with that big release, and we knew as a fan he'd get us. But then after a while, we're like, you can't handle us, and we can't handle being handled.
Did you hear about the mission he's going on?
No, what is he doing?
Not like a mission trip. He's working with NASA, and he's going to the sun.
No, you can't.
Well, obviously you can't. Like that's the idea. Like they're sending people to this, like, to see how close we can get to the sun.
The problem is, I know I'm gullible.
What are you talking about?
I think you're BSing me to the max.
You can listen back to the episode and
he literally talked
own mouth say what you made me do. So I will not.
What?
Look at my dogs back there.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this what a 5-iron frenzy rehearsal looks like?
You know what it sounds like? It sounds bad because we use in-ears. So all you would hear is like the horns, and you would hear tick, 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 just the like clinking of guitars, but you wouldn't hear them amplified. And you'd hear the drums, but you wouldn't hear any guitars or bass. It's weird.
That's fun. Well, speaking of that, actually, when you have so many instruments up on stage,
Yes.
do any of your monitors, do they get kind of janky sounding with
No, they're
the more
amazing.
the
There's
more
a
inputs
thing, and
you
you'll
have?
love the name Master Fader. You have to download Master
Nice.
Fader,
Nice.
and you
That's
use it.
definitely a Colorado-based company, I bet.
No, I
That's
don't
gonna
know.
that's
I
gonna
don't
flag my
know.
accountability partner on Covenant Eyes.
Okay, well, good luck with that. You have to download it, and it allows you to turn up and down each individual mic. So I can decide how much kick, how much
cool.
snare, how much. Sometimes we ask for room mics, so it's like kind of a little echoey. Yeah, so I can put the horns. Excuse you, guys. Be quiet. Thank you. You see them? They're. Well, I don't know. Anyway, so you can put as much of everything. So it's funny because like Scott Kerr, our bass player, will be like, and he has to say it. What does he say? He goes, "No offense, I don't have any horns in my mix." Why do you say it? Why do you have to tell me? You don't have to tell me. There's no reason to tell me. I have no horns in my mix ever. I've never needed to know that.
Well, so that's something that's interesting to me. Like, in a typical band, usually the bassist wants to have, a good connection with the drummer so that they can,
They
create a
do.
nice
He
groove,
does.
right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But when it comes to horns, what do you listen for? Are you listening for that same groove or
Me?
what? Yeah.
I need the bass in there. I just
you
can't
just
have all the drums. What?
do you pull Reese all the way down?
No, and here's why. When he gets off and he doesn't have a great sense of rhythm and he gets off a lot, so we all need to decide what we're gonna do fast.
Just under the bus.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that's
just
fine.
chucked him under
And we have click in our ear.
Yeah.
So there's certain songs, and you've heard our songs, like they're fast. They're
Yeah.
fast. And he needs to stay on it fast. And sometimes he gets off, or sometimes he's being funny, or sometimes he runs out of breath, takes a drink of water. There, did I make up for it? So when he does these things, we have to be flexible.
Yeah. So what happens if you get off the click?
We don't.
Sorry, I'm sure that these are
Get
like
off the click. Colin, we're professional musicians.
Well, I understand, but there's always
you might get off for one beat, but then there's another beat. You better get back on, right? You better figure it out. You don't just get off. It's like driving. It's like the sound when you hit on the road and it goes, then you correct to get right back. It's not like, oh, I'm just off-roading. The click is there to remind you to get back. That's the
kind of fun to off-road for a second, though, right?
So no, I've hung around blues bands too much, they're never around a click, and so it's just.
Well, and what's weird is like my hyperness and my intensity, I'm always like a little in front of the click, right? And we know this is a band being a band for 1,000 years. And Brad's chill.
Yeah, he's behind it a little bit.
He's behind the beat. And so my favorite part, if you ever listen to Evil Plan to Save the World, my solo is stupid. I can't solo, so it's crap. But when you hear Brad's solo, it's awesome because he's just behind the beat, but it sounds really cool. Like it sounds very intentional. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
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 You guys going to Furnace Fest, right? You are.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Ice cream?
I wouldn't miss the
sure.
Of course, I wouldn't miss the world, especially if you're gonna be playing there.
Oh. Yeah. But I also want to hang out. That's
yes, for sure.
We're gonna be you gonna be there for all 3 days?
Yeah, I'm totally and guess what? The first day is my birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, we definitely owe you ice cream now.
It's my 48th birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños.
48. What?
Yeah.
What? It's happening, guys.
That's wild. That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
What a perfect place to celebrate that too.
Yeah, I hope the guys don't buy me a cake because they did one time and gave it to me on stage. And of course, some dude in the front just smashed it in his face. That was so rude.
Are you playing the first day? Do you know?
I don't remember. It's on. I don't know.
The days have been announced. The schedule hasn't, but the days have been announced. I'd have to look. But.
So if you are, you know that happy birthday is coming then, right?
Oh, not while I'm on stage.
I hope so.
Oh, it should. All right, Cullen, if that's going to be the case, we're definitely starting
Happy
Birthday. We're starting Happy. I will go backstage and I will come on stage and not give a shit, and I'll be like, no, we're singing Happy Birthday right now.
No, you know what you want to do since it's my birthday? you should get Stretch Armstrong to sing me happy birthday during their set. Now that would be memorable.
Oh.
No,
That would
don't
be
ask
fun.
him. Don't ask him.
Well,
Okay, ask
now
him.
we're definitely gonna ask
Yeah,
him.
well,
Yeah.
you can't open that Pandora's box and not think that we're gonna go ask them now.
No, do not. They'll be like, who? Oh, yeah. Huh. I remember. Yeah. That's the weird chick that every Cornerstone and every Warp Tour, because we were on Warp Tour with them, she has to be on stage. Yes, yes, I do. I'm okay.
Are you gonna bring a Stretch Armstrong action figure as well?
No, but I have one of the T-shirts. I cut it out because our last tour, Five Iron's last tour ever, our last show ever, before we got back together, The Onion, you know The Onion, right? The magazine.
Yep.
Of course.
So it said, you could buy T-shirts from The Onion, and they said, "I'm in a promising local band."
Yeah.
And so we all wore them for our last show because we played
Yeah.
in Denver, you know, to 4,000 people, a sold out Fillmore show. But on the back, I had sewed it with, of course,
You guys
dental
play on
floss.
Saturday, by the way. You play on the Saturday.
Okay, thank you. Saturday. We play on Saturday, everyone.
There we
So
go.
what I did is I wore a Stretch Armstrong shirt because you know that quote. You probably know it better than me. You were more than just a tour day. You were more than just a fan. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the quote of that. So that was on the back because I was like, oh, this is,
Love it.
yeah.
That's such a cool little homage to them.
Oh yeah, they don't know. Like they know I think they're cool, but I think they're cool. Their
Yeah.
songs. They're beautiful songs.
Yeah.
They're great.
They have a
Cooler
cult
than the other band you have toured with.
There's so many bands I've toured with. I don't know who you want to talk trash about.
You were already
the one
talking trash about them before we started
I know
recording.
who you're talking
Yeah.
about, but I had
Yeah.
a great time with them, and I always have a great time.
Of course.
And I'm not
Well,
going to say who it is. Moving
Should
on.
we give the listeners a hint as to who Leanor was trashing?
They think Five Iron Frenzy are good, very, very good.
But the feelings aren't mutual.
Oh yeah, they're great guys, sweethearts.
They're great guys. But are they great as a band?
They have a song that I love called Softer. They have a song that I love called Softer. And they have a song that I love called Be My Escape.
Okay.
How's that?
Oh, that just gives away. Great.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
that's-
you totally gave it away, but yeah.
Doesn't matter. I do love those songs a lot.
Yeah, they're great
Great.
songs. Great tunes.
What about Snapcase? They're going to be playing.
Yeah.
They are going to be
Pretty
playing.
rad.
Is that so? Well, I was about to get into this. Like, okay, you're going to be there the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the bands that you're wanting to see?
NIV.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a memory with NIV.
That's my favorite Bible.
Mine too, actually. Mine absolutely too. Yeah.
I'm a
You know why?
KJV
Because
onlyist, by the way, just so you know.
I thought after this podcast, like when it's at the end, you were going to ask me my 5 favorite Bible translations. Weren't you going to ask me that?
Yeah.
Yeah. NIV number 1 for sure.
I love it.
Anyway, Blindside.
Oh, I'm so
Oh, you're a Blindside fan. Okay.
Yeah,
They
so
just-
these are the bands I know, right? I don't know. I know Coheed and Cambria a little bit. Is H2O playing?
Yeah, they are. They're
because-
playing on Sunday.
Oh, dude, they have
Yeah.
some good songs. They have
Yeah.
one of the most romantic hardcore songs I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Do you want to know a fun fact?
Sure.
H2O is actually the band Aqua.
I don't understand. Is that
You
also a band, but they have the same name?
You ever heard the
Oh,
song
I-
Barbie Girl?
Oh, shut up.
They're the same people. I swear to God.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, check it.
Okay.
Check it out.
Okay.
They just like reinvented their sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Look it up, everybody. It's true. It's
Are
definitely.
we getting
100%.
the
Okay,
same amount of
so H2O,
H2O.
NIV.
Stretch
What are some
Armstrong, Blindside, Under Oath? That'd be Under Oath.
You gotta come do Blindside with us then.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
what "do" means. I'm not going to be in a mosh pit. I
No,
will
no,
die.
no, no,
I don't
no
have good
moshing.
health insurance. Okay.
I'm just like up front.
The
Hmm.
DOD doesn't have that good at health insurance.
Actually, I kind of have good health insurance. I just don't want to get hurt.
Yeah,
But
but you're gonna turn 48. You don't have to. That doesn't have to be your excuse, Leanor.
there's this health insurance that I want, and it's not really health insurance because it's hippies, but it's like $300 a month. But that for that money, they tell you like holistically what's up with you and what teas and herbs and all these. But $300 a month, I almost feel it's worth it.
Is
But I'm
the
like,
DOD
oh,
in
common
the
sense.
I didn't realize the DOD was in the pockets with a bunch of like.
I think it's the DOC, Mason.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
I
right.
know,
You're with the
Mason.
corrections, not the
Not the Department of Defense.
Yeah, and not only that, Mason, I don't get paid. I raise support. So
Yeah.
I don't, it's
Fair
not
enough.
like a real job that everyone will tell you. Except for when they call me in. It is a real job, but it isn't. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
They
it
need-
sounds like there's enough bands where we can go hang out with you and
Sure.
enjoy that band together. And also, there's enough bands where, but there aren't too many bands where you have to like every single moment of every single day at
Mhm.
Furnace Fest, which means
Which
we
means
can
ice
maybe-
cream.
which means we can get some ice cream and maybe have a little drink.
Yeah. And what about, so Reggie and the Full Effect, they were one of those bands that for a long time were always on the mixtapes, the actual cassettes I would get. It would always have like one or two Reggie and the Full Effect songs. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a mixtape band.
Man, mixtapes. I wish that was a
So
thing.
many.
I wish that was a thing still.
I have an old army trunk full of them.
Do you? Do you have one that like did you name them all too? Or did someone name
People
them
name them
for
when
you?
they give them to you.
Yeah,
You know,
what
like
was
manic and sad, or happy hardcore, sad hardcore, or
so it was
songs I know
just-
Jeff the girl won't like because they're all about her. You give love a bad name by Bon Jovi first. Great. I won't tell you who gave me that one. It's wonderful. I love it. Save them.
Is the next one Back in the Saddle again?
No, I think there was some Rolling Stones though. Yeah.
Of course there are.
What
Well-
song from the Rolling Stones? What do you think it would have been?
I don't remember. See, I don't like it. I probably skipped it.
How dare you?
You know,
We don't speak
Should be
about
Mia Moore.
mixtapes. You know, want to hear something funny?
Yeah, let's
So
hear it.
you know how my name is Leanor and nobody has that name?
Yeah.
Hardly nobody. So I thought that the Stevie Wonder song "My Cherie Amour" was saying I said Leanor. Like I swore when I was like 5, I thought that song said my name.
And you
That's
thought
cool,
Stevie
though.
was talking to you?
I just thought it was a common name enough to have a name in it. You know, a song with a name,
Yeah.
like a normal person. Mason.
Yeah. You know,
Well, when I
Mason-
grew up, Mason was not a common name. Now, like,
Correct.
and then my parents must have been like the hipsters of parenthood in the 90s, because then all of a sudden, like 10 years
Mason.
later, everybody was naming their kid Mason. And so I remember when I was like in high school, I had
Yeah.
like all these like 6th grade, you know, I was like umping games, and I was a coach for basketball. You know, I was working for the Parks and Rec. And so all these kids that were like 6 and 7 years old, they were all Mason. And I'm like, what in the world? Like 10 years later, I
Yeah.
was ahead of the curve. My name is a hipster name. I'm like
Yeah.
just way ahead of the curve.
Does a Mason, is it really just the person who makes jars or
Yeah.
puts things in jars?
I think the name comes from like a Freemason, like
Mm-hmm.
a or that, or like a person that makes something with like bricks, right?
Yeah, the Mason. Yeah.
Brick Mason.
Yeah.
Bricklayer.
Yeah, brick mason. So
Yeah.
like I think so.
Mhm.
I remember like when I would look up my name, it would be like, you know, the etymology
You're a
or the
brick.
definition or whatever was like hard worker, and I'm like, that's right, I was a hard worker.
Ah.
And here's the next question, Cullen. Tell me about your name. Where does that even? I've never.
So
met
there's a
him
movie
before.
called Twilight, and so
Shut
when his parent,
up.
I've never seen it, but I love one of the songs
Uh,
on the soundtrack.
It's Gaelic, and it's Gaelic for cuddly.
No,
really? Does it
comforter.
really?
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
not know this.
Yeah.
This is
your
so
name
funny.
is Cuddly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cullen and I
Why
used to
don't they have,
cuddle,
like-
especially in high school. We cuddled a lot.
Oh, I
We
love
cuddled a lot. Mason and I
so
used to spoon
cute.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
adorable.
Leanor, you want to hear a funny story? So Cullen and I, we'd go on like mission trips, or like
Sure.
like a youth group trip or whatever, and
Yeah.
we would like always stay in the same bed, right? Like that was
Yes.
like we were best friends. That's what we would do. Or like when Cullen went to college and I was still in high school, we would, you know, like hang out, and I'd go to his dorm or whatever. So we always ended up, like, for whatever reason, we always ended up in the same bed. And
Yeah.
I
Okay.
hated sleeping with Cullen because Cullen just like, he's big and he like spreads eagle. I mean, he just like takes up the entire bed. He's the worst person ever to sleep with.
Okay.
So Cullen, after my freshman year of college, got married.
Oh,
So I was like 19. He was like, what, you were 21, 22 or something.
21. Yeah.
And so Cullen got married. So on his first anniversary, I texted Cullen and I was like, congratulations. By the way, your wife now has probably slept in the same bed more than I have with you. And so
But
it
just
probably
barely.
took an entire year for him and his wife to sleep in the same bed
Yeah.
before she overtook him in terms of people that slept in the same bed with Cullen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's true. It's true.
Precious.
Yeah. Now let's be honest, Mason. You definitely did go to sleep.
Well, I'm
Well,
sure.
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you were cuddled.
I
To
mean,
sleep.
I would eventually go to sleep, but you were like, it would take me a hot second to like, all right, you're pushing me off the
Right.
wall or pushing me off the bed into the wall or whatever. Like it was a whole thing.
Right.
But then I would eventually fall asleep.
Yeah.
So we lived in a school bus and we paid like 35,000 for it. And so we
That is
emptied
so
it out.
awesome,
We
by
didn't
the
empty it out. We drew on it what we wanted. So there were bunks, 8 bunks, but basically what the bunks were was on the top, a long sheet metal, and then on the bottom, a long sheet metal with individual mattresses and curtains going, this way. So
Yeah.
Mike is next to me because he's my cousin. That's good. And I'm against the wall. That's good. But underneath me is Reese. And it sucks because Reese would bring, and I'm not kidding and I'm not exaggerating, a longboard, a full-size cello, a full-size mask of Darth Maul, and a full-size
That's
fan,
necessary.
and his own physical body, all smashed in his bunk. All the time, constant, nonstop things and moving and noise. And then there's the story of the time
That's such a lead singer move.
Andy, who was
Total
right
lead
next to
singer move.
Reese, Andy kept rolling and rolling and rolling onto Reese till finally Reese just started hitting him hard, heard a scream, and it was Andy's wife, Mindy, who was on tour with us.
Oh no.
And Reese had been decking her.
You're throwing Reese under the bus so many
I
times.
don't need to. This is just tour. No, he's a wonderful guy. He's fun.
He beats women. He's a wonderful guy. All right.
Well, he
Leanor,
felt bad, but can
everyone,
you
you heard
imagine?
it here first.
My gosh. And one time, Sonny had a crazy dream and thought he was in a Zamboni or a pyramid or something. So he was crawling.
What Zamboni or a pyramid? What? Like, those are so unrelated.
I know. I can't remember which. He's had both those dreams.
Was
But
it a
anyway, he's
Zamboni in a
crawling
pyramid?
around on top of us in our bunks, going through each curtain, asleep.
That's terrifying.
It's weird.
What kind of drugs was Five Iron into?
I think antifreeze was leaking, or maybe it was like diesel. I don't know. We lived on the road a lot. And Andy would always pick up hitchhikers, and I'd get out of my bunk, and there'd be like crazy, crusty punks, and they'd be looking at me like rolling joints, and I'm like, I'm going back to my bed. This is not happening right now. You're being nice, Andy, but this is too nice.
Oh, man.
I feel like these are things that nobody's ever known about Five Iron, and now all of a sudden this is going to be cited on Wikipedia. Like that's my hope.
Mason's obsessed with getting cited on.
I just want to be on Wikipedia so bad.
We
have been cited on Wikipedia on Relient K, the band
true.
that shall not be named. But that's the only time we've ever been cited on Wikipedia.
I had my own page and then it disappeared.
You had
most of it wasn't right anyway, though. It was wrong. A lot of it was wrong. So whatever.
Really?
Oh, so that's where I read that.
I don't know how to do computers, so I just had to leave it.
I read that I read about you on Wikipedia once that you had punched a shark.
See, I don't even know what it means. Did they say that I ate a spider? That's true.
Well, we all eat spiders every year.
Like 7 years.
5 to 10.
7 a year,
No,
right?
but when I'm awake.
Oh, I could see it.
Yeah.
Was it like one of those deadly ones?
I don't know. I didn't think anyone could see me. I was in the corner at band practice, and one was like dangling, and it was right here. And I don't know why, but I ate it. And and then everyone just stopped playing, and I was like, "Oh."
See, you should have done the Ozzy Osbourne way of doing it, and just do it at.
Was it a bat?
While doing a record deal? Yeah.
Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne and what you're talking about, when I was in a band called Arson the Arson at 18 years old, I did bite the heads off of peeps and throw them into the crowd. That was a true story. And
I bet the bat tasted better.
that is when we had a total of 6 shows, Arson the Arson. We played a sobriety house. We played the VFW. We played a Battle of the Bands. I guess 4 shows. And then we also played our guitar player's dad's divorce party.
Divorce party.
The bonfire.
This is the best. This is the best band history ever. This
Right.
needs a Wikipedia page now.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yes.
It can also include how we had a cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door, and we opened with that song for the divorce party, and we ended with that song.
So you basically just made it one big medley.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I had a song about Kurt Cobain and a song called Malkavian. It was a role-playing vampire game.
This is my new favorite band. Like right now, like this, I've never loved a band more than this. Right now, like this is amazing.
That is awesome. Awesome.
I love a band with a great lore, and this is a band with the best lore.
So if I bring you Peeps at Furnace Fest, will you bite the heads off and throw them into the crowd?
Yeah, sure.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, that's better than pizzas at MXPX.
That's
it's better than pinatas and half with cream corn during Cornerstone.
yeah.
Oh, pinatas filled with cream corn.
You didn't know about that?
No, tell us
we
more.
never. No, we weren't rich enough to go to Cornerstone.
Oh, it's a big Mexican thing. Like in Denver, you can buy. Whoa, my guitar's gonna fall. No, not the guitar. Shh. You're okay.
I don't think that was in tune.
It's a baby Taylor. So you can buy like child size pinatas in Denver. So we had a friend who was going to come and drive, and we're like, buy like $500 worth of these things because they're like $100 each. Like they're huge. And we filled half with cream corn and baked beans and then half with candy. And the crowd, before we didn't announce which are which. And then we didn't tell the crowd that some of them didn't have candy. So we just start throwing them, and people are just getting like cream corn and baked beans just in the mud. And then some with candy for main stage. It was great.
Okay, you guys are about to play a show in Denver. You have to do this.
No, because people are older now and they'll get very annoyed.
Oh, but you can do it at Furnace Fest.
People already know. You guys are the only people that don't know. People won't trust a pinata from our show. Someone else should do it. Some other band. It's been done. They won't trust it.
Yeah, but they want it back. You know, if it's at Furnace Fest, I mean, people are willing to
People love nostalgia. People love bringing back memories.
I think it would work with any other band, but if 5 Iron threw out pinatas, they would know immediately.
Well, then you got to do something.
So we're going to throw out pinatas during Under Oath, right?
Yeah. I'll SpongeBob and Dora. Rip Dora's face off. Scalper.
Scalper.
That's terrible. Right along the bangs. Maybe for my birthday we should do a pinata.
Yeah.
Because we play Saturday, maybe that would be kind of fun.
That would be fun. It would be fun.
We could
be all into that.
Yeah.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
I'm all into it. All right.
Sweet.
This is so my two goals for my two goals on this podcast. One of which is to get on Wikipedia. The other one is to influence a band to like manipulate their, whether it's like a song they play or to do something on their set by our suggestion. And so
because Mason, you already did that with the Unmentionable Band, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't on the podcast.
Oh, that's true.
That was something I tweeted at them.
That's true.
Well, hopefully NIV will get some pinatas. Who knows? Somebody do it, please.
Somebody needs to.
All right, ask me the question. I know, I'm ready.
All right.
Yes.
This time. I'm ready.
Top 5 guilty pleasure artists. Yes.
All right. I think the first one, I came up with it, but I will say this one goes for all of 5 Iron. This is our band guilty pleasure artist.
Oh, I love this.
And we will pump it so loud and we will dance the bus will be shaken. I mean, we'll rock it. Huey Lewis and the News.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, man, it just gets it rocking. We once covered, and it took months to learn it. We did The Power of Love, and we played it at a show, and it bombed.
Really?
We were so into it. We were rocking. We had background vocals. Like, it was so rad, and the whole crowd didn't care.
Was it because one of you reenacted the Patrick Bateman, Huey Lewis in the News scene?
No, I don't know why. Nobody was into it.
Oh, that sucks.
We tried. But anyway, so Huey Lewis in the News, that's number 1 for sure.
That's awesome.
My dad would be rocking in the bus with you.
That was my first cassette tape I ever bought. with my own
Oh, wow.
money. 5th grade. Happy to be stuck with you. And yeah, that's a good one.
That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
All right,
like
can you
that.
think of 4 more?
Yeah, but well, I don't know. Like, so they have to be crappy.
They have to be
Well,
ones that
Yeah.
you would be embarrassed of,
All
or
right.
other people
Or
would be
that or
embarrassed
people
for
would
you.
try to make you embarrassed of.
Mhm.
I'm not going to be embarrassed, but let's see. I am a big, let's see.
Britney Spears.
Oh, I'm a big, okay. So the ABBA soundtrack for the movie.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
the
this
movie
is a great
version.
one.
So rocking.
The movie version is what you're saying.
The movie version.
Yeah, that is
soundtrack
definitely a
is
guilty
so
pleasure.
rocking.
I get
I
that.
love it. I can listen
I
to
love
that
ABBA,
the
but
soundtrack all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
movie
think
version
people would
is
make
just
fun of me
different.
for that, especially because like I honestly will have like a real tear when it's like the winner takes it all and Meryl Streep's like singing. It's like, I don't want to talk, and her voice kind of shakes. It's like, so real.
Oh man,
That's
you
a great
guys should
one.
do an
That's
ABBA
a
song.
guilty pleasure for Cullen
All
too.
right.
So you both share that in common.
Here's the next one people might make fun of me for, and it's a Pandora station. Gospel gospel bluegrass.
Gospel bluegrass.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a Pandora. I'll say,
Yeah.
Alexa, play gospel bluegrass because it's spiritual and it gets me hyped and it's my cleaning music.
So, what are some big gospel bluegrass bands?
I don't
All
know
I can
any
think
of
of
them.
is
I don't know
like
a single name.
the only one I can think of is like Nickel Creek.
Guys, Alexa's talking in the other room. It heard me. I hear
Alexa,
her. Yeah.
can Alexa hear us?
Okay, but I will tell you one thing. You know that song, I've been down, I've been down. This is how you remind me, I've been down, I've been down. This is how you remind me of who I really am. That
Oh,
The
Nickelback.
Nickelback song?
Alexa, stop. Yeah, so we had a creepy sound guy, and every night he would play it and he'd stare at me and he'd go,
Oh no. Oh no.
The creepiest part about that is the Nickelback. That's the creepiest part about that.
Dude, it was so uncomfortable. Every single night, just staring at me with that song playing through the mains. Testing every night.
Maybe he just
Here's
thinks
what's
that
funny about
constipation sounds good.
I love here's actually what's less cringy or less like guilty pleasure about you listening to like blues gospel
Sure.
is that you said that you listen to it on Pandora.
Oh, the Pandora part's embarrassing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm like,
good.
this is
yeah, I like that.
I love that you listen to Pandora. This makes me so happy, and also like that's the cringiest thing about it.
All right. All right. Let's see. Cringy music that I listen to that I wouldn't want anyone to know. My favorite boy band, and it's because I grew up differently than a lot of people listening to like, New Kids on the Block or anything, but my favorite boy band that is kind of cringy and I know every single word is New Edition.
Oh,
Yeah, that's definitely guilty pleasure.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. Cool It
Yep.
Now. My Secret is one of the most cute romantic songs ever. Love it. Love that band. That's cringy,
Good call.
right?
Good
Cringy?
call. Yeah, cringy for sure. For sure.
Okay, fine.
that's a good one.
Yeah, especially
I
when
think
Bobby
I
Brown
think-
went solo and I knew every single word and I know how to do all those. I know how to do like the Flava Flav. I know how to do the Ed Lover. I know how to do all the Yo MTV Raps, all the dances. I know them.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think you got one more, right?
I know I got one more. It's so hard. Okay, this is who I'm going to say. Freddie Fender and Flaco Jimenez. You guys probably don't know that. Texas Tornadoes. All this Spanish
Oh.
music. But if you were a cool Tejano, you would be rolling your eyes. Wasted Days and Wasted Nights. Look up that song by Freddie Fender.
What's a Cutiano?
Tejano is a Texan.
Oh, Tejano.
from
I thought you
Texas.
said
Yeah.
Cutiano.
Yeah.
got
So Freddie Fender and Flaco Jimenez, they're like really famous Mexican music that you only listen to like at 3 a.m. when everybody's drunk and sent home. It's like we're done playing cards and everyone's really depressed and almost getting hungover, but you still want to sing out loud.
Sure.
So is the difference between a Tejano and a Chicano is the difference
Yes,
between
very
where
different.
you immigrated to?
No, it's where you're born. A Tejano's born in Texas.
Oh.
A Tejano can be a Chicano, but not all Chicanos are Tejanos.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Chicano just means, this is what my parents taught me when they told me, and I grew up, they go, you're a politicized Mexican American. You know your rights.
I love
You
it.
were born here. You were born here. That's Chicano.
You know you're right.
You know you're
You
right.
guys are like all quiet.
Tell
Okay.
the government fuck off.
Yeah.
Be the government. Become the government.
You are your own
That's right.
government.
Yeah.
You could become the president someday.
I'm not very good at political things.
You don't have to be.
You're at least good with
Donald
money.
Trump did
That's, you,
I know
I
someone
mean, you're
at
good with money. That's
I
got to
know
at least
someone
come
who
from
goes to
something.
MIT. I know someone who goes to MIT. I'm really smart. Okay, let's move on. So I gave you my top 5.
Yes.
Now-
Now,
Great top. That's a
now
great top 5, by the way.
It
now
really
can I
is.
plug our
Top 5.
shows? I need to plug our shows.
yes, please do. Time for
Yes.
plugs.
Okay, people, Five Iron Frenzy has some shows coming. We're going to be in the end of June, the 28th, we're going to be in Nashville at the Loft. Then the 29th, we will be in Atlanta. No, that's not at the Loft. That's at the Basement East. And then Atlanta's the Loft. And then August 9th, we're going to be in Orange County. And then the 10th, we'll be at the House of Blues in San Diego. And then you guys should come for that. San Diego.
San
Beach day.
Diego. That'd be
It's a
fun.
little bit of a trek, but all right.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, life, you got to live once. And then Supernova Ska Fest in Hamden, Virginia coming up. And then
Ooh.
Furnace Fest
Nice.
for my birthday.
Yeah. Feliz
Yay.
cumpleaños.
Yep. That's
love
what we got, dude. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun year.
So that's all that's
Yeah.
planned right now.
Yeah, we have,
Could we
some-
expect maybe anything else that you want?
yeah, you can expect
that
another.
maybe Wikipedia wants to pull, from?
There's gonna be more. At least one more weekend this year.
Okay.
All right.
All
That's
right.
good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know.
Good to
Great.
know.
In the fall,
Totally.
you think, or what?
I think in November.
In November. All right.
Mhm,
Sweet.
mhm. Because we usually always take December off. I mean, we have families,
Sure.
And Andy works for the Geek Squad with Best Buy, and so he can't take off.
Oh, yeah, that
Mhm.
makes sense. I bet you they're busy around that time.
I can't imagine that's the only ska person that works for Geek Squad.
Well, Brad used to too, but he doesn't. That's pretty funny. That's clever.
You know what else is funny? Is that Mason kind of looks like he just got off work at Geek Squad right now.
I know, doesn't
You're
it?
so
I look so geeky right now. I love it.
You guys, guess what I get to do now and why I have to go early?
Why? What do you have to do?
I never get to hang out with my friends, and a girlfriend of mine is coming over. She's bringing wine, and we have a hot tub, and we're gonna go just sit outside, look at my flowers, and chill. I'm so
Nice, nice.
Why didn't we get invited?
I just said anytime you want to come up here, and then I said
well,
San Diego. That would be
all right, okay.
cool.
Sweet.
I'll come and
Well,
hang out. Great.
Yeah.
Are you bringing your hot tub from Colorado to San Diego?
No, but I'm stoked to have one. It was my father-in-law's retirement gift to himself because he retired and was going to travel, and then COVID happened.
Oh no.
So, but now
Dang.
we can travel, and we have a hot tub.
Nice. Love it.
It sounds weird to say, but so yeah, so it's the
I
four
mean,
of us. And
thank God for COVID, right?
No, that sounds weird if it doesn't make sense. But my mother and father-in-law also, we all share a house together. They live here too,
Cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
and
Love
the
it.
chickens.
And the chickens. How are the chickens
Yeah.
doing?
They're great. They're laying 1 egg a day. It's time to go let them out, let them chill, so I can
Good.
watch them and relax.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
All right, guys. To be continued. You guys are awesome. We will
To be
see you
continued.
later.
Couple
see you
months,
later.
Couple months. We'll see you on your
Okay.
birthday. Thank you so much.